Have you ever felt like there's an invisible force shaping your reality, but no one has ever explained it to you? What if there was a universal law so powerful, so quietly woven into existence, that once you understand it, everything around you begins to shift? Stay with me till the end, because this law might be the key you've been missing all along. What we're exploring in this video could unlock a new level of awareness in your life, and there's something truly special waiting at the end that you don't want to miss. Awareness is the doorway to all universal laws, but there's one that doesn't get the attention it deserves. The law of assumption. While everyone talks about attraction, vibration, and karma, assumption works silently, powerfully, underneath all of it. It is the belief you carry as truth, even when the external world shows otherwise. You assume you are already that which you seek, and the universe bends to mirror that internal reality. Assumption doesn't wait for permission from the outside world. It doesn't check if conditions are right. It doesn't beg for evidence. It creates evidence. When you embody the assumption of being healthy, loved, wealthy, or awakened, your external reality is compelled to match the script you hold inside your mind. You're not asking, you're declaring. You're not hoping, you're knowing. Most people struggle because they live by the law of observation, not the law of assumption. They react to what they see rather than create from what they know. But your inner world is the projector. Reality is just the screen. If you want to change the movie, you don't scream at the screen. You rewrite the script in your mind. That's the power of this hidden law. It puts you in command, not as a victim of fate, but as an author of destiny. Assuming isn't delusion, it's creation. Think of a sculptor. Before the marble becomes art, she sees the figure in her mind. She assumes its form before it exists. That assumption drives her hands, her tools, her effort. And over time, the invisible becomes visible. Reality becomes art. Just like that sculptor, your assumptions shape your world, slowly carving your desires into experience. Most people wait. They wait for proof, wait for signs, wait for others to believe. But the law of assumption whispers, assume it now, be it now, live as if it's already done. It's not about arrogance, it's about alignment. When you align with the vibration of what you want and assume it's yours, the universe rearranges itself to reflect your certainty. The mistake many make is assuming from fear. They assume they will be rejected, assume they will fail, assume nothing will ever change. And the universe, obedient and neutral, delivers exactly that. You see, the law doesn't care what you assume, it just fulfills. That's why your awareness is your greatest responsibility. You must become intentional about the assumptions you hold in your subconscious mind. Shifting your assumption isn't a one-time act, it's a lifestyle. It's waking up each day and rehearsing the feeling of your fulfilled life. It's choosing that no matter what the outer world says, you are already in alignment with your divine timeline. You assume abundance, peace, love, and clarity, not because you see it, but because you've decided it is your truth. This law does not replace action, but it makes your action magnetic. When assumption and action merge, you create momentum. Suddenly the right people show up. The opportunities align. You're not chasing life. Life is responding to you. You become a vibrational match to the version of yourself you once only imagined. Now you may wonder, why has no one told you this before? Why is this law kept so quiet? Because most systems thrive on you being reactive, doubtful, and dependent on the external. But the law of assumption liberates you. It awakens the inner architect, the part of you that creates without apology or delay. This is spiritual sovereignty in its rawest form. The greatest masters knew this law. Jesus said, "Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe you have received it, and it will be yours." That is assumption. Neville Goddard lived it. Buddha meditated on it. The mystics knew that reality begins within. When you assume the end, the journey begins to align itself with the outcome. It becomes inevitable. And here's the twist. When you master this law, you no longer fear the unknown. You welcome it. You trust it. Because your inner knowing becomes louder than the outside noise. You don't need to see the staircase. You walk step by step in faith that the assumption has already solidified in the spiritual realm, and it's only a matter of time before it materializes in the physical. Even when it seems like nothing is changing, Know this: the seed grows in the dark. The caterpillar dissolves before the butterfly emerges. Your assumption is alive, forming, evolving behind the veil. Do not doubt the process. Hold the vision. Guard your belief. Stay consistent in the unseen, and you will see what others call impossible. This law is not magic, it's divine order. It teaches you that you are not separate from your dreams. They are already yours. You must become them. This law doesn't ask if you're worthy. It simply reflects what you most deeply hold as truth. That's why mastering it means mastering yourself. Now ask yourself, what have you been unconsciously assuming about your life? What story are you living out because of an inner belief you never chose? And more importantly, what will you begin to assume from today forward? Because once you shift the assumption, the shift in your reality becomes inevitable. Once you understand this law, you begin to notice how your thoughts are not just passing clouds. They are the blueprints of your future. Every mental image you hold is a seed, and the law of assumption is the fertile soil. Whatever you plant with certainty will bloom, whether it's peace or chaos, abundance or lack. That's why you must become fiercely intentional with what you allow yourself to think, feel, and repeat. Because those repetitions don't just echo in your mind, they shape your life. In the silence of your thoughts, you are always broadcasting a frequency. It's not your words, but your inner beliefs that create the strongest signal. That's what the universe listens to. Not your begging, not your waiting, not your complaints, but your vibration of belief. This is why two people in the same situation can experience completely different outcomes, because their assumptions are writing entirely different scripts behind the scenes. This law is not external. You don't need crystals, rituals, or the perfect moon phase. Those are tools, not requirements. The law of assumption is internal. It begins in your consciousness and transforms the outer by first reprogramming the inner. You can start right now, this very second, without anyone's permission or validation. Just shift your belief and anchor yourself in the assumption that what you seek is already real. And here's what's so powerful. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to feel willing. Willing to believe that maybe, just maybe, you're more powerful than you were taught to believe. Willing to trust your own inner knowing over the noise of the world. Willing to assume that your highest timeline is already unfolding, even if your senses haven't caught up yet. That willingness becomes the crack where the light enters. Most people give up because they assume nothing is happening. But the law is always working. It just doesn't operate on your ego's timeline. It operates on divine timing, alignment, and frequency. If you assume lack, you'll keep attracting delays. If you assume it's already done, you activate acceleration. The moment you shift internally, the universe begins shifting everything externally to meet your new truth. You will notice resistance. The old beliefs will try to pull you back. The world will reflect old assumptions temporarily. But remember, the darkness always flares up before it disappears. Don't interpret resistance as failure. See it as proof that your inner shift is starting to disrupt the old vibration. Keep assuming. Keep standing in your new reality, even if you're the only one who sees it right now. The deeper truth is, your assumptions are prayers without words. They are energy signatures sent into the quantum field. And energy doesn't lie. It finds its match. That's why you don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you believe. So ask yourself, what energy are you truly sending out? What silent prayer are you repeating every day with your thoughts? This law also teaches humility, because it shows that life is not about chasing, but aligning. It's not about proving yourself, but embodying your truth. The most powerful shifts happen when you become still, assume what is yours, and allow the unseen forces to work on your behalf. You stop pushing, start receiving. You stop doubting, start knowing. One day you'll look back and realize that everything you assumed came true, not because of luck, but because of law. Not because the world changed, but because you did. And when that happens, you'll understand how sacred your mind truly is. How every assumption you hold is a doorway to a new timeline. That's the magic no one talks about. That's the quiet miracle of awareness. So I ask you again, what are you assuming right now? Is it aligned with your destiny or your doubt? Is it feeding your purpose or your fear? You have the power to choose, right now, this moment, because the law of assumption is already at work, whether you know it or not. Your turn now. Comment below. What are you choosing to assume from this day forward? Let's manifest from awareness together. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep revelations like this. Want to unlock another universal secret? Check the video in the description. It might just rewire your reality.